afternoon, everyone, and welcome. I'm Eve Stern, Director of the Humanities Center, and I'm so pleased to welcome you to this noontime concert that is part of the Center for the Humanities monthly roundup series. Today, we welcome Adrián, Montero, Moya, and Takamatsu from URI's Department of Music to share a selection from their ongoing collaboration. Adrián, a classical guitarist, is completing his master's degree at URI in the studio of Avid Brother. He has won several national and international competitions and is active in projects to record and promote new music, especially by contemporary Costa Rican and Ibero-American musicians. He has 2 solo albums already and has performed in recitals around the world. Takamatsu, a graduate of Tokyo College of Music, is pursuing her master's degree in piano performance with Professor Anabu Takamatsu. Moya is a native of Japan, where she has received various awards, including first prize in the Okayama piano competition, and has performed at venues in both Japan and Japan. Together, Moya and Adrián comprise the Hashi, which means bridge in Japanese, and the Hashi duo witness culture and combines traditional and contemporary composers from Japan and Latin America. Their goal is to share their unique cultures through music as a way of bringing together people from different backgrounds. Please join me in welcoming.
All good afternoon, right? Good afternoon, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be here. It's going to be a real challenge because we're playing with the piano and it's anything for us, but hopefully it will be okay. So yeah, it's a real pleasure. So I'm Adrián Montero from Costa Rica and Moya Takamatsu from Japan. We are here as students, so we'll be there. Also, if you want to come closer, the guitar is a really quiet instrument, really delicate. So if you want to come closer and actually listen to the guitar, I would recommend you come closer to us. Here, Hashi grew. You heard already, Hashi means bridge in Japanese. And when we were working on the idea of this project, well, first we tried to find an identity, right? She's from Japan, I'm from Latin America. So we were looking for something that can connect us. Because I'm from Latin America, Hashi, sounds like, oh, that's cool, right? So she was like, Hashi maybe it sounds like too straightforward for a Japanese, but we're in the Japanese, so it's okay for us. So the first piece that we performed is Recordando un Bolero, and it's composed by the Costa Rican composer Alonso Torres. He's a living composer. He has a doctorate degree in the University of Aveiro in Portugal. And this is actually the second movement of his guitar concerto. We took only the second movement because we think that really works for this type of ensemble. And it sounds like it was written for this instrumentation, it's piano and guitar. So a bolero is a dance form developed in the late 19th century in Cuba. And of course, these are dances that come from Africa and later on developed in Latin America, especially in Cuba, a lot of, like the bolero, el danzón, and all of these dances come from the son, that again is developed in the 19th century in Cuba. This second movement is inspired in the family reunions at his home. So he mentioned when I spoke to him that he comes from a music family. His father is also a really well-known composer from Costa Rica, Alan Torres. So it was normal to sit down around the house and play some bolero, some pasillos, some traditional music from Latin America. And the other idea is like it's really inspired in Mozart's piano concerto. In terms of form, and especially because, maybe you don't know, but Mozart's piano concertos are really inspired for it's really voice-like, like operas. So every time that the character, the guitar in this case, enters, really dramatic and operatic. Also, other influence that you can hear in this piece is impressionistic orchestrations. Of course, you can listen to it with the piano, but if you listen to the guitar concerto, you will listen to a lot of Ravel-inspired or Debussy-inspired orchestrations. But of course, harmonies that come from jazz and other Latin American rhythms. So yeah, this is the piece that we just performed. And Moya can talk.
Okay, so next I will be performing a solo from the Costa Rican composer named because it's covering the slide a little bit. But his name is Manuel Napolitano. He's a Costa Rican composer, and the piece that I'm going to perform is from composition from him for the 15 Costa Rican advancements. So a little bit before I go into what I'm going to say. So the fourth invention is it's something that's derived from so invention, to put it simply, it means like a technical exercise. So he initially composed these pieces for his one of his son to practice on the piano, and that's how this form is invented. And you can also call it a two-part invention. This is how it developed. And what I mean by two-part is it's like a dialogue between the right and the left hand. So that's how we call it invention. And you have 50 inventions for the concept of the rock. And if you go to 3, then you can have more voices, then you can have symphony and so on. So we have a lot of as a pianist, we go through a lot of inventions that we technically exercise, but also it has a lot of like musical elements inside it, and it's just a great role. So he used this form, and then what he created was instead of using like the theme of the rock, he used a native coming up on the right hand, and then it swings to the left hand, so it's almost like a dialogue. But in terms of like board, it's more relaxed, not really strict as like the class invention. So that's a little bit background of the invention. And so I will be playing two pieces from him. The first one is called Hashi. This is a very play was composed by Acevedo brothers. They're very important composers in the Costa Rican music in specific. And it uses the rhythm of Carandera, which is a unique rhythm in Costa Rica. It's a pretty against it. This is the rhythm. And yeah, that's the first one. And the next one is for the rice and beans. This uses the political rhythm. And rice and beans in Costa Rica, it is a traditional dish. I also tried it differently, and I'm satisfied with it. And when you hear it, you will really enjoy it. And it's very captivating. So I hope you enjoy this one. And last, I will end with El Vuelo de la Figura. So this is a little bit different from Hashi, like rice and beans. It's more heavy, like sounded. And it has a rumor that this was played in funeral of King of Spain back in 1885. It's not like it's a rumor, so we don't know for sure. But that's the kind of feeling of the piece. Like, so I'm
So before we continue, I just want to do a little exercise. So she played three inventions and things. The first one was Pasión, and this is based on the rhythm of Tarandera. Basically, on the guitar is something like really percussive, it sounds like. So she mentioned that this is a rhythm that is 3 against 2. Maybe this doesn't mean anything. So basically, what's going on is you have a rhythm of 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Can you clap with me, please? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. On the other hand, you have a rhythm of 2, that is just 1, 2, 1, 2, that would be 1, 2, 1, 2. So what I'm trying to do is like we're going to divide this group. Well, yeah, this whole group into 2. So this group will play triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So please, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Keep going. And then this group, loud please. Then this group will play 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Keep going. Basically, the rhythm of Tarandera. Thank you so much. And then the rice and beans is a rhythm from the Caribbean side. So Costa Rica is a really small country, but we have the fortune to have the Pacific side and the Caribbean side. So and she mentioned rice and beans. Actually, I never cooked rice and beans with her. What I cook is pinto. But it's the same thing, it's rice and beans. But the difference is that in Caribbean, they use coconut milk and some type of spice that is different. But it's rice and beans. So I get why he was this. And then the Duelo de la Patria. I mean, these two first inventions were based on folk music. The last one is really interesting because he took this by Rafael Chavez Torres, who was a classically trained musician. As you can see, it's sort of different. This is a funeral march, and it was composed for the funeral of, I forget the name of the president of Costa Rica, but it became really popular. So that's why there's this rumor that even in Spain, they use it for the death of I forget the name of the king. Well, yeah, apparently it was the Rafael Chavez who invented this rumor, but we don't know. And definitely it's a really different piece. So then I'm going to play Sakura Variations. This is based on Sakura, that is again a folk thing from Japan. And Sakura means cherry blossom. That's correct, right? Yes. So it's composed by Hiro Yoko, a Japanese guitarist and composer. And it's based on the Yonanuki, excuse my pronunciation, scale. That is basically a pentatonic scale, meaning only have 5 notes, and it sounds something like this. It's really spooky in a way. It's mysterious. For example, we have the minor scale that it will sound right, pretty straightforward for our ears. For the major scale, right? The B scale has something different, definitely. And with that scale, you can create chords like this. Also, this is a variation. So he took this thing that you will hear. It starts with an introduction, and then I play the thing, and then a set of variations. And each variation has a different technique that sometimes reminds of guitar techniques. But for example, the first inversion, when I play it from Moya, she was like, this definitely sounds like a pocket. That is a block instrument. Maybe she can tell us a little bit of video of these instruments.
Oh.
So you think you know X? Do you really?
You can tell there's a variation is based on the same thing exactly. As you can hear, it's working also with a lot of repeated notes. That's the first variation. Then the second variation is more guitaristic because you use artificial harmonics that is like this. Really quiet, really sensitive. Then the third variation will be change a little bit more the rhythms, and then on the fourth variation, use the tremolo. It's a really guitaristic technique. It's pretty much repeating a melody with the playing a melody with the big note, like the famous Recuerdo de la Alhambra. And so on. What bass would exactly a thing? Again, like this tool is aiming not only to promote the music of our own countries, but also to push ourselves to know better our own backgrounds and all the backgrounds as well. So, for example, when she played the Costa Rican music, it was really fun because I was coaching her, and at some point I said, "You know, Moya, you sound really Japanese, but you're playing Costa Rican music." So, you know, I mean, like she was feeling like this, and I was like, "You can feel like this. You have to feel it in your face because that's Latin American music, and vice versa." With this Japanese music, she was like, "You have to do nothing," and I was like, "What?" You know, like Latin American culture is about extra, everything extra. You know, big parties, big food, everything is big and extra. And the Japanese culture is actually the opposite. It's like putting everything together in the most simple way. Like erase not, it's like going to nothing. For me, that was really simple. So I think this is really interesting about this project. Like if I close my eyes and she plays that music, I wouldn't think she's Japanese, but it's because this interaction between the two of us and coaching us and learning from each other. So I'm gonna play by Hiro Yoko, Takamatsu, and Moya. Lastly, we're going to play the Fantasia Opus 145 by Maracasino Tedesco. He's definitely not a Japanese or Latin American composer. What we find in this character, the soul of this project, that is connecting cultures, connecting backgrounds. You are more unifying. It's not like saying we're just one. Like, I think differences are important, but they are important because they make us better. So Maracasino was an Italian composer, but he comes from a Sephardic Jewish background from the region of Andalusia. And also this piece was composed as I think as a wedding gift for Andres Segovia and Paquita, who were a Spanish guitarist who became Andres Segovia, and Paquita was an Uruguayan pianist. So the characteristic of this piece is a free form, a fantasy is a free form based on really small things that he used and developed, changing keys or just transforming them. And again, it's dedicated to these really important characters, especially for the guitar world that is Andres Segovia. It's a neoclassical style, highly influenced by Beethoven and combining Italian lyricism with Andalusian rhythms, melodic twists, and with impressionistic harmonies. So he is a composer from the mid part of the 20th century. He has to move from Italy, of course, because of the war was happening with the Nazi movement in Europe. So he moved here to the United States. And his character is really interesting because it depends on where you look, you will find a different view of Tedesco. As guitarist, we really know him because he wrote a lot of music for guitar, solo, chamber, even 2 concertos for guitar, even a double concerto for 2 guitars and orchestra. But he was also a Hollywood composer. He used to teach at UCLA, and he was a teacher of composers like John Williams and Leprechaun, really big names into the industry. But again, he was also known into other classical era like chamber music for piano music. Even at some point he tried the 12-tone technique, but eventually he gave off because I mean his style was more like the neoclassical. So this fantasy is in two movements, and we hope you enjoy. Before we play, this is our last piece, by the way. We want to thank the Brownback series for having us here, and of course you that you were here paying so much attention. And to mention someone, actually I don't know his name, but it's the technician of the piano. 5 hours ago, this piano was unplayable. So,
Completely opportune. The technician came in, from the morning and we opened up everything, the damn stuff is something great, but just not straight. So you have to like, make it straight and it's a miracle that it's sound. So, I need to thank you for, letting me play, be able to play this piano. And thank you so much for coming and to, for that.
Here.